Daily Race C, wet weather. Let's do this. Come on, get in there, get in there. Oops, that closed drying. The G29 is back, guys. We are going to do some GT Sport Daily Race C this week. Is wet weather racing? Is this a hint as to how GT7 is going to be? Let's get straight into this one. As you know, I've not played GT Sport in quite some time. I've not even just been on about 3 months since I last got in the rig and did some laps. And what car? I only use the Audi R8, I think. I do enjoy driving the Audi R8. It's got a great sound, a great cockpit view. Let's get straight into this one. I did barely a lap and a bit of practice. I got a 3 minutes lap time, so it wasn't representative at all. I didn't even know where the handbrake was to launch the car, so I'm holding it on the foot brake. I'm going to try traction control 1. Still can't say traction control. 3 months, you think I'd get better at that, but no, we're off the line now. The BMW, the shocking start. We've got to avoid contact there. Things are going to get really spicy into turn 1. And just look at this, guys, cockpit view in the wet weather. Could this be GT7? I mean, it's going to be on PS4. Is it likely to be better than this? Look at this, down to Eau Rouge now. The spray from the cars ahead. We're side by side with, I think it's Mobius 3. And we're back in action, guys. This is so much fun. I'm lowering the cockpit view. We're going to back out that one, follow Mobius 3 through Eau Rouge. We do need to back off. It's not flat like it is on dry. Over the top of the hill through Radillon. We lose a bit of traction, but things are kicking off ahead. Going 3 wide onto the grass. Mobius 3 is going to get all crossed up, and we're going to try and take avoiding action and put ourselves in the barrier. Not ideal start to this race, but it's going to be a very long race. 7 long laps around Spa in the wet, as we're going to get this stopped down into one of my favourite chicanes at Spa, and we've just avoided it completely. In fact, halfway through cruising across the corner there, I did remember that I'm playing GT Sport, and I was very much in danger of getting a reset. I'm going to flick around with the MFD now to try and get the traction control where it needs to be, and miss my braking point completely down the hill there, and almost lose the car. And yeah, quite frankly, after doing a lap and a bit of practice with no fuel in the car and no tyre wear or tyre temperatures active, I'm really struggling. I'm really not used to the way the car feels with the heavy fuel load, the tyre wear enabled with the tyre temperatures, and certainly for the first lap the tyres just seem freezing cold. They've got no grip. We're going to pop traction control back onto 2. Don't be afraid to use traction control. Jesus, why can I not say that? Don't be afraid to use TC, guys. I use 1 most of the time. It just gives you that level of safety. 2 is really nice and safe. It's very, very easy to drive like that. Perhaps the fastest way is with TC off completely, but I honestly, I'm a bit rusty. It's been a long time. I left it on 1 for a lot of this race. So we are down in 18th position now. But I do feel like I'm starting to get a feel for the car in the wet, in the race conditions, with race fuel and the race tyre wear and tyre temperatures. And I feel like now the car is starting to come to me. So I'm going to dial TC back to 1 and just try and progress forward as best we can. A lot of penalties ahead there, and it looks very busy now going through this corner here. Again, you've got to back off and downshift this corner, a corner which would usually be flat in the dry. And then we're going to start braking into the final chicane, and it's busy down there, guys. Yellow flags are out, so chaos is going to be kicking off. 1 car, 2 car, 4 cars reset. BMW is wide. The Porsche is side by side. Mobius 3 looks like he's got a penalty, and absolutely 0 drive out the corner in that GTR. He's going to get eaten alive either side by me and the Porsche. And we're going to get on the brakes into turn 1 on the radar. Mobius 3 goes deep, and he's going to go too deep. It looks like he is. We're going to tuck in behind that Porsche, scrabbling for grip on the throttle now. Up through the gears, a little bit of wheel spin kicking off, and we're going to go side by side. We're actually going to back out of this one and hopefully get this guy, the Spanish guy, on the penalty zone on the straights. We're going to try and get through Eau Rouge as best as we can, going safe through the first part and looking to carry the speed over the top. A little bit wild on the corner exit there from the driver ahead, but we're going to get him on the penalty zone now. So we are now up into 9th position, which will become 8th position very quickly, and we've gained a ton of positions there just by keeping ourselves clean. Getting on the brakes now. We're going to hopefully not go as deep as we did in lap 1, and we just gather it up there. through this sequence of corners. The car is always wanting to flow. As you can see where we're catching the car with the steering. Over swaz from the car ahead. Oh, he's swazzed himself off into the barrier. This is the return of the swaz. In the wet, that is just swaz central. So yeah, a bit of traction control would have helped that guy out there. Being a hero without TC is maybe going to get you a fast lap time, but it might not get you to the end of the race. So we're going to play the percentages game here. We're going to play it safe, and that's going to work out for us so far. And I've got to say, I am really enjoying driving the track in these conditions where the car is not performing at its best. You have to really fight the car. This is something that's pretty rare to do in the GT game series. Drive a car that's actually genuinely hard to drive, a car that will really just bite you if you're too aggressive with the throttle or too late on the brakes. It's actually great to be driving and racing the track as we're closing into the guys ahead now. I think we've got good pace versus these guys in the lobby. I think there was a lot of fast drivers on when we did this race, so we weren't in the top split. We're just in a high A split lobby, but it's just great fun. Look at the graphics. Someone's lost it ahead there. Again, coming out of that corner, very difficult. We're going to close into the back of the Spanish driver Danny now, and are we going to look for a move into any of these? Is the same car as us? It's just difficult when you get close. You lose a bit of downforce in the car, and the car just doesn't perform well, and you've got the reduced visibility. We're going to look to the outside, not necessarily to put a move on him, just to really get a clear view of the braking zone. I'm going to thread it through the final chicane here, looking for any mistakes from the driver ahead, and most of the mistakes are going to come from ourselves. A bit of a sideways action there, and we're going to try and get the car driven to the next corner. We've got a pretty good lap time for us there. It's certainly way faster than our practice and qualifying lap time. But that's not hard with it being just a sighting lap really. So now we're up to 6th position, running down the hill into Eau Rouge for would it be the 3rd time, and I think we've got the pace on the driver ahead now. I'm really enjoying this cockpit view. Just take a moment to just reset your expectations on how fast you can be driving a cockpit view, because it is quite a restricted view. But driving in the wet with the car being difficult to control, deep in the pack, it's superb. It just brings that level of realism and, dare I say it, simulation just up a level. I'm really enjoying the cockpit view. I know Womble Leader's a fan of cockpit views. We're deep into the corner again. And a tip for you for this week is just brake early than you expect. You can lose time on corner entry very easily, as we almost lose the car coming out the corner. Even with TC on 1, it's still possible to lose the car. I found that as I was trying to go faster, I was overdriving the car. I was driving too deep into the corners, compromising my corner exit, and just being overall slow. Dial it back a few percent, brake early, get the corner done early, get the car as straight as you can, and as you start to come off the steering lock, that's when you can get on the throttle, and that's when you can get your lap times. So basically, cautious on corner entry, unlike I did there. It just pushed it too aggressive on corner entry, and it compromised the corner exit, and then we're just losing a handful of time now. Skipping forward to the end of lap number 4, through this sequence of corners, we're going to run a little bit wide for no real reason, and just pick up a track limits penalty. Very sloppy driving from myself, very poor, not ideal at all. But we're going to get on the brakes into the final chicane, and it looks like there are some incidents ahead. Yellow flags are out. What we're going to do here, there's a slow car ahead. We're going to capitalise on that incident from that driver ahead there, and that's going to put us into 5th position. We do have a half-second penalty to serve, and as we serve that penalty, we do get away with that one. We managed to get enough gap to the driver behind to not impact our race position. And 4th position isn't too far ahead now, so are we going to be able to get a podium out of this race? First race back on GT Sport, and it's looking pretty solid so far. Through this right-hander, we're going to get too much swaz and end up in the gravel, which is an absolute nightmare. Luckily, we are still facing in the right direction, but again, losing a chunk of time. Speaking of remaining in the right direction, I do have a video on my channel which is how to save spins. Oh, he just fired it off the track. He's had a massive over swaz moment, overcorrected, and just exited stage left and given us that position back. So again, we had a half crash he had a full crash, I'll certainly take the half crash any day. So yeah, I do have video on my channel of how to save spins like F1 world champion now, Max Verstappen. It's basically just a case of jamming on the brakes and the throttle. It brings the car into a line again. It's all explained in my video, but keep an eye on my throttle and brake traces as I'm driving through this difficult race here. We will often stamp on the brakes to bring the car back in line, and I think now we're starting to suffer with a bit of tyre wear. Tyre wear is enabled on this race, and the rear tyres are the ones that really get a hammering, but we are closing down 4th position now, and hopefully we can start to get into a rhythm where we're not overdriving the corner entry and we're just focusing on the corner exits, as we're just trying to keep the car under control. And 3rd position isn't too far away in the distance now. What are we going to be able to achieve here, guys? Let me know in the comments below. Also check out the description below for the link to the Race Asylum Discord. The Race Asylum has continued all through this time, and they're helping people get faster in GT Sport, and we're going to have a battle on our hands in a moment, guys. 4th place, 3rd place right ahead. And what's going to happen is the final braking zone. They're both going to get the car stopped nicely. So, deep from the Spanish driver, side by side from them. We're going to try a huge cutback, which we're going to get a great cutback. But the Audi's going to come across us with a bit of swaz from himself. That could have been a move into 3rd place, but it didn't quite work out for us there. Luckily, it is GT Sport. The car is not written off. I can continue my race and see where we can get to now. Can we get that 3rd position? 2 laps to go, and 4th position looks like it's on the cards here. We're just going to need to get the drive out of this corner, down the hill, up to Eau Rouge, and we are both in the Audi R8, so the car should be very evenly matched. Tyre wear should be pretty similar. Through Eau Rouge now, we're going to try and flow through as best we can, trying to carry the exit speed as much as we can over the crest. A little bit of wheel spin, we'll get away with that one, and we're closing into the back of the Spanish driver. We are solidly in the slipstream. Give him a flash. We're going to go to the inside. We're going to get on the brakes now. Can we get the car stopped? We've had a lot of difficulty stopping the car into the chicane a lot now. So are we going to get it stopped? Barely, not quite. We're not quite made that stop. We're side by side with the Audi driver now. He's going to go to the inside here. We're going to try and cut back on the corner exit and get on the gas. We're going to go side by side now into the difficult braking zone, trying to get the car stopped now. Side by side again. Check that radar out. Is he going to try and hang on the outside? No, he's going to back off a little bit. Is he going to try the cutback? We're going to try and block that one off by staying tight. Through this left-hander, we just need to get a good exit out of here, and we are on the curb. A little bit of a catch of the slide. We managed to get away with that one. Now we are up into 4th position now. Can we hold on to this position to the end of the race, and can we get 3rd position, as we are wide there with 2 wheels over the side of the curb? That's going to ruin our chances here. Tokyo Drift Star on the outside. We're going to give that position back to the Spanish driver. This is really challenging conditions, guys. It's great to drive the car on the edge of grip, and we are just now focusing back. 3rd place seems to be coming back to us. 3rd place for any 3 of us is on the cards here, so let's figure out what we can do now. There's only just more than a lap remaining. We need to get a good drive out of these 2 corners here, and we've over-rotated there. The rear tyres are really starting to suffer, and the Spanish driver is getting away from us, catching the car many times on the curb. We've lost positions now. The British driver has put a movement down to 5th position. Are we suffering with tyre wear? Can we maintain the 5th position, or will things kick off ahead? Skipping forwards now to the end of the final lap, towards the end of the final lap, and it looks like there's yellow flags are out ahead, so I think the car had a problem coming out this corner here. The Finnish driver, we're going to make that position up back up to 5th position now, is 4th on the cards. The British driver has showed pace. He's come back and overtaken us, but it's very treacherous conditions here now, so we're going to get on the throttle now to try and get a great run out of this corner here, and we do get a good drive, but will it be enough to close into the back of the British driver and send one into the final chicane? Is that even going to be possible? We are, I think, in the slipstream. The leader has finished. It's actually a fantastic race from the leader there. Going to cruise through here. He's wide through this corner here. Are we going to be able to get alongside him for... I think we're a long way back here. We're going to brake quite safely. Hopefully he'll go too deep and we can capitalise on that. We're going to close in. We braked quite nicely there. Now we're just going to drive to the finish line, and we're going to get too much rotation. We're going to lose it. We've done exactly what we hoped he would do, and we've been reset a few back. Welcome to GT Sport. And we're gonna throw that one away, guys. We're gonna come home in 9th position. Let me know what you thought of that race. Let me know if it's good to see me back on the track. I'm really enjoying this week. If this is a glimpse of GT7, where the races will actually be dynamic in their weather rather than just a set weather conditions, then I'm all in for that. I'm really excited for GT7. Let me know in the comments below what you think is going to be the most fun thing about GT7. What do you expect to see? What do you think you'll like the most? Hit the like button if you haven't already, if you have enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. We'll be full of GT7 content when it comes out. Certainly going straight into the settings and finding the most fast settings in GT7. So we'll catch you in the next one.